Welcome back to the continued orchestrated collapse. We see all this land and piece of dog shit. We have flushed the coal of our society. I am your host, Reg from Alaska, and I hope to be with you for a lot longer. And I'll see you in just the next hour or two on this live stream as we continue to fight for our property and rights, through all the lows and all the heights, keeping it together. And I am so happy you can join me as we continue this struggle to be free. I am your host, Reg in Alaska, from Alaska. And I hope to be with you for a lot longer. And I'll see you for just the next hour. Then just the next hour. Promise the next hour or two.
Sometimes the robot don't get it too right.
As we continue the struggle to be free.
Yeah. All right. Another fucking
Beautiful.
opening. Right? I made like fucking 20,000 of these damn things, right? Looks like we got Joey and Jack already. Good evening, Joey. Cheers, Jack. What's up? Yeah, it's Bleak. It's the man. It's the myth. The metaphysical metaphor. He is here with me today. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Going through it still here with the probate, and you know, I fucking went and checked up on it and it's like we went through all that shit to verify the will, and then the judge issues a letter of intestate, right? Which means like no will, right? And so I had to make a motion today to get that changed so that way they could issue the right letters of testamentary, so that way, you know, they can't sell my shit out from under me. They considered they're trying to do that since day one. That I got to stay on top of this. And luckily, my good friend Bleak Narratives here, and our good friend, has been helping me out with all this legalese and shit. And so welcome, my brother. Oh, where'd you go? Shit, we just lost him. Oh, fuck. He disappeared. All right, well, no, just me. I just introduced him. Okay, let me see what happened here, because he lost the whole window right there. I'm gonna text him right now and figure it out. But yeah, what do you guys think? Trumpty Dumpty, right? Huh? Made it. He made it. All right, he's back. Sweet. Well, we're hoping he's back. And there he is. Sweet. We got you. Got you back.
Sorry,
No
man.
worries,
I had
no
a little bit of lag there.
No worries. No worries. It's all good. Yeah. So, yeah, Jack's saying what's up. And so, yeah, let's talk about this latest thing then. Now, like I said, Michael's been helping me out here to get through this legal challenge, and I've got more of those happening right now. And we're going to talk more about that. And he might have somebody else coming in. Are you there? You ready to go? You want to come on? We got lag? We got lag. Yeah, welcome. Come on. All right, I can't unmute your mic. You muted it. So go ahead and come.
Gotcha.
Okay, there you are. We got a little lag or something going on.
Yeah. It's real bad.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is this this latest thing that I got in the mail. It's a presentment, and you know, we're gonna go through this. And now, what we have to do is you cannot fight these things, right? And so, as Bleak has explained to me, what we have to do is it's an acceptance. You accept, right? And I've been going more on this research on this, and Now, what they're, the charge, like an electrical charge, right? And that has to be, it's got to be discharged. Otherwise, it's just going to burn, baby, burn, right? And it'll burn your ass. And this is how they do it. And so, what you have to do is, like you explained to me, it's an acceptance and return for value is what's going to be happening. And so, you were helping me out with that. Can you speak a little bit of that on that?
Sure. Sure. Basically, what we're dealing with here is a presentment.
Yeah.
I like to use the analogy of a fight. Like if I walk up to you with my fucking hands up and I say, "Let's get it," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
That's my
love that
offer to
analogy.
contract. That's my offer to contract. And so if you say, palms out, Mike, I don't want to slap a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Then that's your refusal of it, which is dishonor. There are ways to refuse things with honor. There are ways to refuse things for cause.
Okay.
There's always, like last time we spoke a little bit about estoppel. There are always ways that estoppel will apply to these things, but essentially, it's all an offer to contract. It's all an offer to negotiate a
Right.
contract. Everything we do is commerce. Everything that we do is a trust action. So if I come up and say, "Let's fight," and you look at your wrist and say, "Give me 5 minutes so I can draw a crowd," I want to, whoop your Nancy ass in front of a couple people.
Exactly.
That's your counter offer. You know what I mean? Counter offer to acceptance. Now, if I say I'll give you 3, that's my counter to that. But if I accept that, then we have ourselves a contract.
Right.
Very much like if I ask you to dig me a ditch by Friday, and I'll give you $50. It's not a contract. If I say dig me a ditch by Friday that's a foot deep and a foot wide and 15 foot long, and I'll give you $50. Now that is a contract. You know what I mean? Because it's there's consideration, and so these things are all necessary elements. These people are giving you a presentment. If you don't answer to it, then the consideration doesn't even matter. You've acquiesced to it.
Right.
Tacit admittance or silent acquiescence is the same as saying okay. So it's just like a credit card. We get a new contract on a new credit card. They send you the credit card contract, and you don't fucking do anything. You throw it away. You grab your card. Well, if you read through that shit and you don't like certain terms in it, then you redline the motherfucker and you write above it what you want it to say. If you don't want to be referred to as the debtor or the borrower, then you take that language out and say consumer and natural person, and then you date the motherfucker and you initial it. And at the end of it, you sign that thing correctly. We've got to have our correct acceptance and everything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but I mean, initially, it's all 6 of one, half dozen of another. Once you've done this and you understand the process, then it's all
Yeah.
over. But the shouting ain't going to be able to do a fucking thing. You
That's
know
the
what I
main
mean?
thing is understanding it, understanding what you're talking about. So that way you're confident in it. And so that's why I was, the guy you referred me to, it was Sovereign, what's his name? Sovereign,
That's
369.
that's Antonio Figueroa
Yeah.
from Texas. Sovereign Productions 369.
369. Yes. Look this guy up. He's got a ton of good videos. And I sat there and watched I watched like 10 of them until I finally was just like, but it was all exactly on this presentment thing, right? And that's anything. It could be anything that they're presenting to you. It could be a warrant, a ticket, a bill. That's a presentment, and so, like he was saying, it's like the charge. You got to discharge that, otherwise it's going to burn. It's going to burn you down, right? And
Correct.
so that's what we've been working on because this California thing, they're sending me this fake ass bill, like they did some kind of service for me, right? And now it's up to like they claim they all like I owe like $3,300. They're gonna try to attach my property, like all this shit. But I mean, after you were telling me about that, and we're gonna go through a few bits of this, the acceptance. I've written that out, but you were talking about some things that it could do to actually literally show that they've broken the law and stuff like that, and these are $1,000 like violations, and every one of them they do adds up, and at the end we could charge them, right?
Correct.
And we
Correct.
could get a check from these motherfuckers.
Right.
Stephen, coming in the
Right.
house, welcome. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's essentially it. That everything they're doing, anytime they've taken possession of any kind of decedent estate property, or have any kind of authority over your estate, or acting in a trustee or fiduciary capacity, trying to execute your estate or administer that thing in any way, shape, or form, they need to have your consent, and in order to do that, there are certain forms that they need to have filed with the IRS, or certain things that they, if they're handling securities, and these need to be registered with the Securities Exchange Commission.
Did you drop a link to Jason?
Yeah, I did. Hopefully,
Let's put him up.
yeah, hopefully he'll be in. Let me. There we go. Bam.
Yep, we got him.
All right.
All right. We got another person joining.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us. He's your mentor, right?
Right. I've studied under Jason for about 3 years now. This guy is he's a fucking assassin. You know what I mean? So
nice. So you want to come on and introduce yourself, please, Jason?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to turn up. We can barely hear you.
Let's see here.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's pretty quiet. It might be an issue with the phone. You might have to go into your settings and allow StreamYard to have access to your mic too. So
no, there's the Jason in the little settings tab there'll be a option under the audio to adjust your microphone volume and shit if you've got all those extra little like echo cancellation and all that other shit turned off. So
but yeah, what I was facing too, I'll go ahead and explain that here while he's getting ready. Is this goddamn fucking bill, like they're gonna think they're gonna try to attach something, right? And so going through it, now the thing is, the guy kept saying you don't want to try to fight or confrontate them on this, because that's just gonna, I mean, in their made up cuckoo land world of we're all the straw man, right? That they can make up whatever they want. It could be a million variations of whatever the fuck they're gonna try to do you with. And so the best way is to just remember the principle of acceptance, like you're saying, accept and return for value. And that seems pretty fucking bulletproof to me. And so also I'm coming up on tomorrow, I'm going into court for a speeding ticket, right? And I've got something that I'd like to read to both you guys to get your opinion on of something. This is what I'm going to say when I get in there, right? And they said, of course, you don't want to agree to being the name they call, the all caps name, right? And you could show that even through your body language, they're saying, right? Even if you like nod or anything like that, they're gonna fucking jump on that. And so you got to completely, you don't even want to sit down in the court from what they're saying, because that's like that's a submission type stance you're going to take. So you stand in the back, and then when they call the name, right, don't even just approach. And so the notes I have, they're all here, but you don't want to agree to being that. You're literally going to go up there and say that you're here on that matter, but you're acting as an intervening third party, right, and a limited appearance on behalf of your client, the straw man, right? And so and you say I accept and return for value, and then you're going to say I offer my exemption for any obligations, costs, blah 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 in this matter. I'll get the exact wording here, but let's see if Jason's got his mic. Go ahead and give it a shot there, brother. You might have a little bit of a go ahead.
Any better?
Ooh, still quiet for me. Let me see if I can do something on these settings here. Okay, let's turn off automatic adjust mic volume, and I'm gonna crank you up. Okay, try again.
How about now?
Okay, a little bit better.
All right.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. Can anybody in the chat come back? How you hear them? So we still got people probably populating. We're just starting out. Try again.
Anything now? Better now?
I can hear you, but it's hard for me. How about you? Can you hear him?
I can hear you guys. Give me just a second here.
Yeah, no, it's well enough. Jason, you'll play on the playback just fine, I'm sure.
Okay. But yeah, now what do you think about, everybody's saying it barely can hear him, can't hear still. I adjusted on my end what I could do for your mic. You might have to try it. Are you on a phone?
Yeah, I'm on a phone right now.
Okay. Can you try to speak right into like you're talking on the phone?
How about now? Better?
That's better. Yeah. That's better. So, right, you might have to hold that right up, like, right to your face or whatever.
What I've
But
seen with this traffic court, I've got one going right now.
tell us about it.
If you look at your transportation code, look at your definitions. Their definitions hang them every time.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Texas Transportation Code, very first thing it tells you what it's supposed to be doing. Nowhere in there does it say out there beating up the public for revenue. You know, and then it tells you later on. It tells you as you dig through it who's authorized to enforce. Well,
Okay.
that's only the only people allowed to enforce it here in Texas is a county transportation officer who's specially licensed by DPS.
Okay.
And specially appointed by the sheriff, and he should be on a motorcycle. So right there, he's got to have 2 authorizations right there before we even got started. Did he do that?
Right.
Does he have those? Is your county big enough? And what's the definition of a person? Because it says
Exactly.
no person shall. No
Mhm.
person. Well, what the hell's a person?
Exactly. Now, what Michael was saying is something like that they're defining you as like a dead thing or whatever. It's an unnatural entity or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's an individual.
It's a person, the creation of the state.
Yeah,
It's dead.
An individual is a singular person. So an individual is a person is an individual. So that's out. Then the next thing is firm. Well, we'll skip firm for just a second, but then we got partnership and association. Okay, great. We know what those are. Those are groups of persons. So
Okay.
all 3 of those things are persons. Now, the only thing that has a different definition according to Black's law is firm, and it says business.
Okay.
All right. What's the definition of transportation?
Right. The definition of motor vehicle as opposed to automobile.
Right there in the Texas Administrative Code, it says
Hold up on the transportation. Yeah, check this out.
it says
Okay.
there's ordinary vehicles, and then it says there's motor vehicles, which is a
Right.
vehicle, and a vehicle is a motor vehicle. But there's ordinary vehicles too, that are primarily used for household and consumer use. Son of a bitch.
Right.
You mean like the one I fucking signed for?
Household goods, right?
Household and consumer goods.
Right.
Off your consumer credit transaction that you had at the dealership.
Exactly. Trying to find my notes on it. I wanted to get your opinion on exactly what I'm going to read in court.
I say, hey, I'd ask the cop, hey, what was your SAF and what was your RAS? Well, you were doing whatever you were doing, speeding, really?
Right.
No. What was your RAS and SAF that I was engaged?
And what does that mean?
And thus a person required under the code.
Okay, so RAF.
He's talking about a reasonable articulatable suspicion or a single articulatable fact. These are things that they must have in order to pull you over in the first place. And just the action of fucking coming up to your car and asking you for your driver's license is it's ID theft. You know what I'm saying? They're while prominently displaying a deadly weapon. That's a high felony. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Yeah. I call him the gunman, right? When the gunman comes to the window, you're best off to cooperate, But I have something that I printed out from that Freedom Taker site, a printout. God, I should have grabbed one of those. But it's a beautiful thing. You hand them paperwork, you use paperwork against them. That's how that works, right?
Well, it's going to depend. What is the ticket for?
Speeding.
Speeding.
Yeah.
Speeding defined anywhere in the code?
Right. Exactly. I mean, and then the other one was for failure to present proof of insurance, right? And so I didn't have the
Hey, do I have a right to remain silent? Well,
yeah.
Do I have a right to be secured by person's houses, papers, and effects? Well, yeah. Then why did I give you shit?
Right.
I know, right?
Dipshit.
I'm trying to find this.
Well, and there's going to be discrepancies in the testimony that the officer is going to be able to provide. Anyways, upon cross examination, he's going to say things. He's going to say things like, "I witnessed, Mr. Such and Such driving." Well, objection. You witness it. You can't be the person that issues a summons and the witness at the same time. You're a
Yeah.
party to the case, allegedly. And then
Right.
you move forward, and he says that he witnesses you driving a blue Ford. Well, objection, Your Honor. This guy's not an expert witness. He's not allowed to provide testimony on behalf of Ford.
Okay.
He's not
This
you know what I
part,
mean?
is already after you've entered the court, though. You know, and you're part of it.
Showing up
Whereas,
waves the wrong
okay.
name.
Can you go to the microphone a little better?
Say that again, Jason.
Just you showing up waves the incorrect name. You've agreed to be that person by showing up.
Right. Okay. See, that's the whole thing that this whole other defense is kind of avoiding, right? Is not agreeing to being the person they called, right? And so, okay, this is how it goes. This is what the instructions are. So I want to get you guys' opinion on this. So it says, stand in the back of the courtroom, you know, don't sit down, or you're just outside the door and you wait for them to call the name, right? And then you approach the bar and remain standing, don't sit down. And then you state, I am here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as an authorized representative for my client and, you know, the name you called. I accept for value and return for value all of the charging instruments in the matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in the charging instrument. And so that's the opening thing.
Essentially, what that is a demurrer. You're saying that I'm guilty of the charge, but not the crime.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you're willing to settle the matter.
That is an option, and that's what they want. When there's no controversy before the court, there's no controversy before the court. Now, I learned a thing from Jason early on in this, man, that there are no fucking facts in dispute before the court. There are no fucking facts in dispute before that court. If there's nobody there to present testimony on behalf of the fucking petitioner, then there is no fucking person there to prosecute a crime in the first place. The attorney has no fucking firsthand knowledge of a damn thing you're going to say, or he's going to say. And
See,
so anything that attorney says is fucking hearsay. You know what I mean?
What's different about up here is there's going to be no prosecutor in the courtroom. It's just the judge and the cop, right?
That's generally the case in traffic court across the country, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Right. And
Yeah,
so
what level of traffic court you're going to? Like, for example, mine is a misdemeanor where they want to put you in jail for.
Yeah, I'm in the misdemeanor one too.
Okay. So here's the one deal, and I know every state's the same.
Okay.
So what I did is I went into my county land records and did a search for the judge's last name. Pulled up everything that's in there, every property he's stolen,
what?
Yeah. So then you find his election certificate, and it'll tell you he was elected as an administrative judge.
Right.
Means he's in the wrong branch of fucking government. You've been denied due process.
So you went to what site to look this up?
I went to my county court's website.
County court.
Yeah, I went on the county clerk's website, and it said there was on the bottom was Odyssey case search.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I clicked
and then what'd you enter there?
And I went into no. I went into there's a way. I did it through a FOIA request. They gave me the link to get into
a FOIA, right?
And they gave me the link to get into the records and how to get into it. And then you type in your last name, and all your stuff will come up. But you type
right, exactly. We got that here too. Yep.
So that's how I found where he lives. That's where I found.
They put that on there.
Oh yeah, it's all on there.
No way, goddamn. Okay, tell us about what you're facing.
So I got I was arrested for driving without a license, but he also gave me a ticket for no insurance and I don't remember what else.
Right.
Something else. So the tickets I forgot. It was 2 days before Christmas last year, and I forgot it. I just I wanted to go because I'd already cussed this prosecutor up once. I'd called her a fat cunt and just told her stuff.
Oh Jesus!
Told her stuff her charges up her ass, and case went bye. And
wow,
I caught him red-handed in Barratry. So
you were able to get the charges dropped?
Oh, they disappeared. They didn't want no more. And that's the one you saw the video of me going in there to get a FOIA punched, and how pissed off they are when I walk in the door. They hate me over there.
How I mean, tell us how exactly how you were able to get them to stand down, in case I'm not getting it completely.
Okay, so I got hold on, give me just 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
No problem.
Here you go, baby.
Because I'm going in tomorrow, right? And I'm going to be completely confident about what I'm going to say. And everybody keeps saying, "Oh yeah, I know people who tried that," right? And saying, "Yeah, good luck and all that." But I'm going in. I'm still on fire about this whole thing, right? And so I'm not back down.
I knew this woman from before. I'd seen her when I first got arrested or first got pulled over.
Can you speak a little closer?
When I got pulled over the first time,
much better.
When I got pulled over the first time, I borrowed my stepson's car, which wasn't registered, so we just took plates off his broke down truck and stuck them on it. We made a sticker for the windshield off on the computer, stuck it in the window, and I don't have a license, no insurance,
no license, no insurance,
front license plate. So I got pulled over.
Oh, okay.
And I went home that day. I drove that car home that day, but with a couple tickets. So I went in for the tickets, and the first prosecutor, he's like, "Oh, well, we can just drop all of them if you just go get a provisional driver's license." And I'm like,
okay.
So I was new, so I was like, "Oh shoot, let me think about that." So I said, "I'm gonna have to think about that." He said, "Okay, well, we do court once a month, so it'll be 30 days." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I ran home and looked up his website. First thing he does, I see, is he gets paid by the state to set people up with provisional license. That's called veritry. It's felony. So
Oh
I
wow.
took screenshots. Then COVID hit, and so everything went quiet for a little while, and then just after COVID, or just before COVID, I went in there. I put a bill of complaint and equity in.
Hey, Reg, Shadow Mask is wanting to jump in. This could get interesting here.
I tossed the link out, so.
And
yeah,
so
come on Shadow.
I went in there, and the judge's eyes were getting real big as he's reading this. He's like, "You got a lawyer?" I said, "No." He goes, "You got motions in?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't need to be here." Bye.
Right. Before we get too much further, I wanted to read a caption from Hale versus Hinkle.
Sure.
This is it's a pretty big thing concerning the person. But anyways, it says, "We are of the opinion that there is a clear distinction in this particular between an individual as a private and as a corporation, and that the latter has no right to refuse to submit its books, papers, etc., for examination on suit of the state. The individual may stand upon his constitutional right as a citizen. That's a capital C citizen. He's entitled to carry on his private business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited. He owes no duty to the state nor to his neighbor to divulge his business, nor to open his doors to an investigation so far as it may tend to incriminate him. He owes to such duty to the state, since he receives nothing thereto or therefrom, and beyond the protection of his life, liberty, and his property. His rights are such as the law of the land, long antecedent to the organization of the state, and can only be taken from him by due process of law and in accordance with the Constitution. Among his rights are the refusal to incriminate himself and the immunity of himself and his property from arrest and seizure except under warrant of law. He owes nothing to the public so long as he does not trespass upon their rights. On the other hand, the corporation is a creature of the state. That's what I'm saying. It's a monster. A person is a fucking monster. It is presumed to be incorporated for the benefit of the public. It receives certain special privileges and franchises and holds them subject to the laws and states and the limitations of its charter. Its rights to act as a corporation are only preserved so long as it obeys the laws of its creation. There is a reserved right in the legislature to investigate its contracts and find out whether it has exceeded its powers. It would be a strange anomaly to hold that a state, having chartered a corporation to make use of its certain franchises, could not, in exercise of its sovereignty, inquire how those franchises had been employed, and whether or not they had been abused, and demands of production of corporate books and papers for that purpose. Now that's Hale versus Hinkle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it explains a lot there. And I know that sometimes this legalese can be kind of boring, right? But you're going to be interested when you're caught up in it. Welcome, Shadow. What do you got there? Orange Jesus ends to the White House. Nice. Like it. How you doing over there in Australia? Are you guys all jumping for joy now that the Trump made it back in?
Some people probably are.
Okay, right. What about you?
Yeah.
What about you?
That doesn't feel like anything's changed.
I know, right? Right. I mean, this
I,
is like the least erection they've had in a while, right? It's pretty flaccid.
they could always what's it called? Remember what Johnny Depp?
Impeach?
Sorry, remember the quote Johnny Depp said? When's the last time When's the last time a president's been assassinated?
Right. I remember that. Is that what you think's gonna happen? You think they're gonna try to do that? I mean, they've already attempted it in that wrestling show.
Maybe they're trying to put it in your people's subconscious for when it happens.
Right, putting
People
a
will go.
program. Mm-hmm.
And if that does happen, who would actually
You said
become
it first. No.
who would become president? Would it
Uh,
be JD Vance or would they give it to Kamala? Because Trump's technically hasn't been sworn in yet.
well, she's yeah, that's a good one. That's a good question. I wonder how that would go in the legal sphere.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's always
Yeah.
a chance it could be a bait and switch.
Hey, they could declare war before the switch happens and keep the sitting president in too.
That too, yeah. You'd have brain dead Biden.
Yeah. So we're sitting here, we're going through some legal stuff. We got Bleak Narratives, Michael on here, and he's got his friend Jason on. And we've been talking about how to defeat these things in court, right? And
sorry, go ahead.
I got court tomorrow, right? And so I got to go in there and we were talking about, okay, the things you guys are talking about too is after you've already gone in and pretty much agreed that you're the guy on the name they called, right? And so I want to start out and try not to do that. What do you think? I mean, how do you think that's going to fly with get this? It's one cop and just one lady judge is what I'm going to have. One lady judge, right?
Well, it's like Jason said a moment ago. It depends on whether or not that cop even has the authority and has the education and the continued education hours to fucking be doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but Jason will undoubtedly will have the fucking answer.
I mean, do you think what I read there earlier, Jason, is going to be a good thing to start with?
I think if you can stand your ground and not vary, because she's a professional at getting you to screw up. All right, she's going to do everything in her power to trick you.
Yeah.
Into saying something. So, agreeing that you have an address. See, when I did the same thing and ended up with 11 days in jail.
Damn.
So, because what I did is I walked in, I sat down, and when he called the name, I held up my birth certificate and said, "Defendants appeared."
Oh.
I'd already been arguing with him at another time, and he called.
And that didn't work?
No. And I did it again. Well, he says, "I'm gonna ask you again." He did it again. I my paper held it up and said, "Defendants appeared." So I sat there until 4:00. I'm gonna ask you one more time. I said, "I'm gonna tell you one more time." He asked one more time. I said, "Defendants appeared." He said, "Go out in the hallway and ask for the name. Call for the name 3 times." So he went out in the hallway, asked for the name 3 times, and came back in, said, "Nope." And he said, "I believe that's him. Arrest him." Threw me in jail.
Damn.
Now that's going to cost him dearly because these state judges are not judges; they're administrative clerks.
Right.
Ask for his SS-61.
So they brought you to cuff you and brought you right to jail?
Yeah.
Damn, that's kidnapping. But okay, I
no charges filed. I didn't have any contempt charges. I didn't have failure to appear charges. Nothing. No warrant issued. He claimed there was a warrant issued. No warrant was ever issued and never filed.
Okay.
So they do what they're going to do. You see,
that's a little different than what I'm saying, though, too, right? I mean, right here, literally saying accepting for value, right?
This area is very up, so it depends on your judge, you know.
Mm-hmm. Slow Boy's in the house. Welcome. That's Kristen. Okay. Right on. And so, yeah. Go.
I've been watching like looking into like police arrest videos in America.
Uh-huh.
And the craziest one I've seen is you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah. What is it?
Okay. This is crazy, but there was a story of how this woman wanted access to her ex-boyfriend's house,
Okay.
so she calls the police and like they tell her she calls the cops, or the cops come and she's trying to get access into the house, and the police come and they're knocking on his door telling him can she come in, and he's telling them no, and then the female cops tell her you know you can kick the door in, you know you can kick the door down.
What?
the
That's advice from a cop?
female cop is telling her to break in the door,
And
and she kicks down the door, the ex-girlfriend. The cops follow in. They're going up the stairs. The cop pulls out his taser, and the owner's coming out of the shower, and then they taser him, but you don't know what happens because only the guys on the top of the stairs camera was off, and there was a guy at the bottom of the stairs. We could hear what was happening, and
where did this happen?
What?
Where did this happen? You say you're watching a video of this or something?
I can't remember, but I can link you the video.
It's all good. So what happened? Get to the chase.
And they taser him, and he's telling them, "Don't taser me. I have a pacemaker." She tasers him, so he grabs the taser and he drops it. And then his mum is coming, telling him, "Stop. He has a heart condition." And then the guy gets arrested for resistant arrest, and then the mum gets charged for what's it called? What's the thing is when you interfere with a case?
Obstruction. It's obstruction or interference.
They charged the mum for obstruction. The guy didn't even break any laws.
and they broke into his house, but they let her break in and they followed
Well,
her.
the only reason this shit's happening is because we're letting it, guys. And this gets right back to the thing that we were talking about with your case, man. If you walk in there, you know, alleged, and you then challenge the fucking court or the prosecution, the magistrate, to prove that the statutes apply to yourself as a defendant in said court, as you know, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 14 clearly states that the government makes rules for the government and not the people. This is Cruden versus Neal. Constitutionally, a statutory presumption cannot be sustained if there be no rational connection between the fact proved and the ultimate fact presumed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Statutes apply only to created creatures known as corporations, no matter whether creatures of the statute and offices of state and local or a federal government. And that's a Colonial Pipeline Co. versus a Triangle. A statute will not be presumed to have extraterritorial effect outside the territorial jurisdiction of the legislature over persons residing outside the territorial jurisdiction of the legislature. Now, Jason can tell you just as quick as anybody else what state of means, or what fucking United States fucking means. It doesn't mean what you think. It's 10 square miles in Virginia.
Right. Right.
You want to chime in, boss?
Go ahead.
It's either 4 USC 101 or 110 says that state of means within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States, which
Right.
28 USC 3002 Section 15 A, B, and C says that the United States is a federal corporation housed in the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico,
Right.
U.S. Virgin Islands, and such and such.
I had a question about your thing. Okay, now you went in. You said you did 11 days in jail for just claiming that the birth certificate was the defendant.
Yeah.
And so, okay, how did you finally get released?
Bail.
Bail. Okay, you got somebody bailed you out finally.
Yeah.
Okay, and so did it go on to court, or did never did?
Oh yeah, that case went all the way through.
Okay, and how did that trial go?
Well, they did their little kangaroo trial, which is a trial by ambush.
Yeah.
Because they only allow the certain rules to apply when it works for them, when it doesn't work for them. So he, the first day, they threw all my evidence out, everything. I was left with nothing.
Wow.
Because it had a stray pencil mark where I dropped my pencil on it, literally.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So.
God damn. See, I mean, No, that's not really happening here because I mean, going through the probate, right? There was all kinds of shit that was wrong with some of the paperwork we're putting in, and it was after late, all that, right? And they just still allow it, right?
Yeah,
But
the key
civil
is
court.
to make an issue of it. You got to make an issue of it. So right now we're in appeals court, and they didn't even answer.
So you're still in court for this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I served another 38 days after that.
What the fuck?
Well, but this is a testament to the fact that what he's doing in his process fucking works. Look where the guy's at right now. He's on a live stream with us and not still sitting in fucking jail. They had to keep this man away from everybody else and that motherfucker too. I'll guarantee it because there's Jason knows what's going on and they don't have a way to fight him. That's why this shit is dragging out and doing what it's doing because this
38
motherfucker
days.
will dominate. And
if I do 38 days, fuck, there's no way my house is gonna make it
we'll
without me.
check it out. What all they've done right there under Trazevent versus City of Tampa is made Jason a fucking millionaire. Like a statute is not a law. A code is not a fucking law. That's that's Flournoy versus First National Bank at Shreveport. And I mean you can see it again in Self versus Ray, and that's Wisconsin. But
That's
these
the
are all
next
Supreme
question,
Court cases.
Okay, you're still going through court, but I mean, do you have a lawsuit going against them for all these false threats and all that?
I've got the other case still going with the same judge and everything. It's still going on in that court. I'm getting ready to walk in there because I just went in. I just found his election certificate a week ago. So I haven't gone over there yet, but I'm gonna go walk in there and talk to the clerk, have a little chat with her, let her know here's your invoice, and I'll walk upstairs to the judge. Here's your invoice because when I put my appeal in, I told him he had 72 hours to put his SF-61. His oath required by 4 USC 101.
Okay, was this all served by paperwork then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So it went to the appeals court like that too. So they got it too. You got 72 hours to put the proof that you're a judge in the record. And if you can't, you owe me 150 fucking million.
What?
And
is that what you're suing for? 150 million?
Oh, remember the contract. Remember the contract. Let's fucking fight. Let's fucking fight. So what did Jason do? He gave him a counter. And now, they can accept that or they can honor it or dishonor it.
That's kind of what this opening statement does too, right? I'm sitting there, third-party intervener, and I'm going to say I accept for value in return for value all the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected to this case. That's going to be a little bit different than just standing there with my birth certificate because I was planning on that too, right? I was literally going to put I got a ton of copies of my birth certificate. I was going to wrap one around one of these puppets I have, right? And say, here's your guy, right? But I see this as being much, much better and much more efficient than that.
So here's a little shorter version to do that. Say,
okay.
Hey, judge, there's no facts in dispute. I waive all benefits without God. The trustees are present. The beneficiaries are known. I'm just here to settle this up and get a fucking check and get out of here. So I think prosecutors already brought some securities to the table. We can get this matter settled real quick and get on the road here. Because I'm acting, like you said, I'm acting as a trustee, and I'm appointing dipshit over there as the payor, and they're going to pay out the checks, right? Go ahead and cash them bonds out. Let's get everybody paid and move on.
They're not going to want to do that. I mean, okay, now I sat in court the last time I went in, and I watched the process, right? That was one good thing. I was back there, and I was acting like I was falling asleep, right? But I was listening to every fucking thing, right? And not one person in that courtroom even tried to, do anything other than beg for a little more time or a little less fine. And none of them got any of it, right? I mean, they got a little more time, and that was it. But that was, I mean, that's how it went for all of them. And so I was sitting there thinking, there's no way I want to fucking pay these fuckers. And I'm not. And so that's why I've been sitting here doing this. But I also put in a notice for abatement. And I did that. I sent that on the 8th of October, about a month ago. It got to him by the 10th.
You're mixing
Go ahead.
You're mixing processes here.
Talk just right in the microphone for us, if you could, please.
You're mixing processes.
Right. Well,
with your
abatement was set in paperwork, right? It was sent in. I just sent that in because that's the strategy I had then.
Hold up. hold up, check it out. You're always going to be able to go back on these, and you'll know for sure how you're standing on these things. But like, you'll never be able to hear what somebody's trying to say. Let them holler about the mix and the processes here, real quick.
Okay.
So your equitable deal you put in there, and then your paperwork that you're going to read, that's all equitable. But some of your other stuff is not equitable process. When you're questioning them on their jurisdiction like that, you're playing their little game. But either way you play, stick to one or the other. If you're going to stick with the equitable, do the equitable. Go out, walk in there. I mean, you could walk in there and just say, "Hey, judge, I got a question. Am I entitled to a fair trial?" What are they going to say?
Okay.
Yes, right? Great. Thanks, judge. Can I get a fair trial if there's a conflict of interest? They're going to say no. Great. Thanks, judge. Who do you work for? You work for the plaintiff. You're collecting a paycheck for the plaintiff. Go on the go on your comptroller's website and look up your CAFR report. It'll tell you where all the fucking fines and fees off that court bench go to. The same place this check comes from. And they're commingled. They're not separated. It also funds his retirement. So he's getting paid off his bench.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with this one. For some reason, this one speaks to me, right? The one where you don't admit to being the person, and you just say you're a third party intervener. I mean, that's kind of like another form of saying making a special appearance, or whatever, because I've always heard that one. But this, for some reason, this text that I just read, okay, there's another way of saying it that the guy said too, right? And that is, okay, it's what they call the 3 questions. I don't know if you've heard about this one.
I don't. I'd have to read the questions, I guess.
Okay, the 3-question defense, it's called. And so as you walk in there, the first thing you say is, as the living principle, I do not dispute the facts on the private substance side of it. Okay, wait, hold on. I've got to help myself. When he calls your name, you say, I am here concerning that matter. May I have your name, please? You ask the judge, and you ask for their name. And this was the other type of thing that I've heard works too, right? You ask their name, and they usually don't want to say their name. But if they do, then if they respond with their title and not their name, then you'll say, or I mean, if they do respond with their name, you say, will you spell that for me? Because they do that to you too, right? They do that to people. I've heard them do that. Spell your name. So that way you're on the record as saying you're that person, right? And so you ask them to spell the name. And then if they say like judge whoever, right? Judge so-and-so, then your next response is, your offer of communication is accepted for value and your dishonor is returned. Please state your name, not your title. And then they say at that time, the judge will probably go mute, right? And try to just, not respond. And if they either say no or they refuse or they don't respond, or if they say that they are, that their name is Judge so-and-so, then you ask them, is that the same name that's on file with the Secretary of State? And if it isn't, then the matter is void right then and there. And so you don't even have to go through anything more.
We're doing business in there. He tells the lawyers, quiet down, we're trying to do business. Yeah, well, okay, great. Then if you're using the honorable Judge so-and-so, yeah, let me see the EIN for that bad boy, because it doesn't exist. I know it. So he's using false and fictitious business name.
Right, because they can't act as themselves in there.
Hold on. This goes back to what we were talking about on that phone call not too long ago. He's talking about the unregistered business name. Go on, Jason.
Okay.
So he's using a false and fictitious unregistered business name in an artifice and a scheme to extort you.
Right.
Through the mails. Isn't that a violation of 18 U.S.C. 1341 and 1342?
I'm going to write these down real fast. I'll go back to the replay and write them down. But it's good to be able to quote those codes.
If you're wanting to look at specific times that you would timestamp in there, dude, 36 minutes and 48 minutes would be a good place to start.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down, 36:48. But
while you're doing that, I wanted to go back to some stuff real quick. First one's going to be Weimer versus Bunbury, and this was in Michigan in 1874, and the next one's going to be Mugler v. Kansas. Now, check this out. It reveals that the Bill of Rights in America and in the Constitution has not been drafted for the induction of new law, but to secure already existing, or old, as they put it in the document, principles against abrogation, or violation. Every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature, and he is not bound by any institution or institutions formed by his fellow man without his own consent. So, I mean, that you've got to understand that, like, insofar as a state runs a counter of fundamental laws of the land, it's superseded. You know what I'm saying? Thereby.
Okay. No, right
And
on.
any law which is repugnant to the Constitution is null and void. That's
Right.
Marbury versus Madison.
But
You know
they
what I mean?
fucking they break every one of the fucking laws. They do it every day, right? I mean, that the Constitution, that is, with every law that they've made. That is like
Well,
the
see, the important thing to remember is the Constitution doesn't apply to us, not in the slightest.
Right.
It's made to regulate them and their actions, and so it's all about enforcement. I don't necessarily think that either one of those plans is like your best way forward with this. But I couldn't propose to know what it would be. You know.
Right. Well, I definitely don't want to fucking bow down, and I'm not doing that.
Right. Well, I
And
think what Jason was saying is important, that there are no facts in dispute before this court. And if they want to set this for a fucking trial date, then that's fine, man. You get 12 of your peers.
That isn't that also hold on? Isn't that also kind of agreeing already? You're walking in and you're getting into the process. I mean,
Oh, I don't mind dancing with these faggots. I don't mind dancing with these motherfuckers one bit, dude. Like, let's go.
I get that. But I mean, I I really don't want to do that. I mean, I do have a speeding ticket defense that's pretty well should work, right? It's the same thing. You're saying stuff like, did you calibrate the radar gun that day? Do you have the paperwork for that? Do you have the tuning forks where the tuning forks drop? Blah blah blah. All this, right? All these little things you're trying to hammer away at and see if you can get it thrown out that way. But once again, you have already agreed to being the straw man. You're already in there at that level, and so you can definitely lose.
But in the words of my friend Abraxas, man, like this is a good thing. You need your straw man. You can't operate in commerce without that motherfucker. Not in the public or in the private.
I'm not talking about operating without him either on this, though. Because that's your client, right? And so in this opening statement, but
no, that's the principle. That's the principle. You know what I'm saying?
But you're saying you have the opinion that I shouldn't go with that.
Jason, what are your thoughts on stepping away from principle? I mean, I don't mind being an agent for principle. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So this is a hat that you're wearing, dude. You're the agent for the fucking named principal in this fucking action, in this styling or whatever. And so, again, man, they don't have the authority to act against you, or
right.
I mean, these are all things that are being levied against you in a made up jurisdiction in a court that's not a court of record. It's pretty dry, man.
Well, I'm kind of feeling like this second one, the 3-question defense, that's also establishing that, right? Basically, but I mean, what you're doing is I think you're just more or less you're just passing the fucking ball onto them. They have to fucking try to prove who they are,
right.
And so get you on even ground to start with, kind of more like, But the 3 questions we've gotten to the first one, right, where you ask them their name and whatnot, and if they try to stonewall you, not give you the name, your offer communication is accepted for value and your dishonor is returned, and you say state your name again. If they continue to stonewall you, and you're asking them, if that title is registered with Secretary of State, once again putting the pressure on them, not on you. And then question number 2 is, do you have a claim against me, right? Against me, like me, the real man, right? And do you against me? Not asking their titles or saying anything like that, not admitting to who you are or anything like that. And then the third, final one, if they're non-responsive, is, do you know anyone who has a claim against me? You got to say who, right? Because that implies, a living person and not they're made of fiction. So that's the 3-question defense. It goes on from there, right? Because obviously you're going to get in the middle of some shit. And they're going to start, like, I mean, the cop will probably say, hey, the state or the city or whoever's charging you, right, has got the claim against you. And then if they call the state or they say the state or the city, then you say, I request that the state goes up to the stand, right? Which they can't do. The state's going to come in and go to the stand, right? And so, once again, keeping the pressure off you and being in control of the whole situation. They say this 3-question offense has worked a lot of times. It keeps going on, but the basic 3 are those, right? And then it starts to get to where you start to tell the judge what to tell the officer to do, right? And that kind of thing. But what do you think of these first 3 questions? That's my question to you guys. How do you think that would fly?
I think all these in theory work,
right?
But you got to be quick on your feet,
right?
Because
you got to be confident. You got to speak with confidence.
Your judge, I've never seen her. I don't, I mean, if you've had a chance to sit in front of her, you may have an idea already.
No, I sat in front of the other chick judge that's there, right? But I've seen them both in the hallways, right? They're just chicks, right? They're like super tough guys or anything, obviously, right? They're kind of timid.
They're dipshits, yes.
Right. So it should be easy.
I mean, I beat a foreclosure by getting the dumbass judge to say, yeah, the rules of civil procedure don't apply in my court. Okay.
No, that's good.
And he wanted. Then I told him I paid with a coupon, and he wanted that fucking thing out of his court. So he shut that shit down.
Right.
Okay, so when is your next appearance on your court thing coming up?
December 6th or 9th, something like that. But I'm going to go in there before that and have a little soiree with the clerk.
Really?
Look at what I have here, honey. Here's your bill. And I'm going to go upstairs.
Okay, you're going to present a fee schedule?
Fuck the fee schedule. They're just getting invoice. And then
right.
when they don't pay it, I'll turn it into the IRS as a loss
right.
gain for them.
Right, tax credits, and that's how you do it. You stick the big fish on the little fish. Now check this out. Fucking whatever the form in which government functions, anyone entering into an agreement with the government takes the risk of having accurately ascertained that he who purports to act for the government stays within the bounds of his authority. The scope of his authority may be explicitly defined by Congress or be limited to the delegation of the legislation properly exercised through the rule-making power. Now check this out. And this is so, even so, though, as here, that the agent himself may have been unaware of the limitations of his authority. Now, this is Utah Power and Light versus the United States, and U.S. versus Stewart. Now, check this out. To establish any kind of violation, the state, meaning the state of wherever you're at, is required to show that the defendant operated his vehicle on a street or highway. Obviously, the territorial jurisdiction is established and written in law without wearing all the elements of his property adjusted to the occupant restraining device, blah, blah, blah. That's because it's a seatbelt thing. But this would apply to your case instead. And you have this this right to bring this as your own thing. So from the court case above, or the cases above, you can ascertain that it's your obligation to challenge the authority of the government and the court's duty to receive evidence on the issues challenged. So if the prosecution can't offer proof of territorial jurisdiction, the case must be dismissed. Now, but wait, there's more. It just goes on and on and on. Right. So in a further attempt at clarification, the meaning of the word county simply defines territory owned by or subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of the United States of America. Now, again, that's the United States of America is fucking any land that's been ceded to you or to them by the federal government. You know what I'm saying? So that means that they have to prove that they own that motherfucker through receipt. I don't know if Jason's still here, but Jason should chime in on this.
That's exactly right. It's got to be ceded. So state of is within the territorial boundaries of the United States, D.C. So where did that shithead lawyer get their delegation of authority to operate outside of the District of Columbia?
Right.
Where's their license to practice law? Their warrant of attorney, their power of attorney. That's their license. Let's see it.
Yep. And so the state governments of the 50 United States they define the word county by a proper name and geographical boundaries called county lines. The federal definition of county is joined in the historical and revision notes to Chapter 5 of the United States Code, Title 28, Judiciary and Judicial Procedure, Section 81-131 of this chapter shall be shown the territorial composition of districts and divisions by the counties as of January 1st, 1945. Now, Section 81 of the 81A is then the territory of Alaska. The list proceeds to name the rest of the 48 states in the United States, the territory of Hawaii, the possession of Puerto Rico, and it goes through the insulars and blah, blah, blah. This territory is owned or by or subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of the United States and the District of Columbia, and is therefore the territorial composition of the counties, which comprise the district and the divisions of the United States District Courts. The first paragraph of the Northwest Ordinance of July 1787 effectively defines district as the territory owned by or subject to exclusive legislative powers of the United States of America. That's the corporation. The district and the divisions of the district are expressly defined by Chapter 5 of Title 28 United States Code Section 81-131 of this chapter, and they show the territorial composition of the districts and divisions of the counties by January 1st, 1945. Now, again, that is not what you think it is. Your county is not what you think it is. Your streets, your roads, right? Yeah. All of these things aren't exactly what you've been told that they are. Now, so driving is commerce. So if you're being accused of driving or given a moving violation, then they're charging you of a commercial crime. Right. And this just goes into a different aspect of it. We should have got into the probate while Jason was still on. We missed all that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I had a couple more things I wanted to grow to because we're like at an hour already. Time flies, okay. Right? And sure. we could go off this one, but I mean, the 3-question offense and you know, the not admitting to being the straw man thing. Now, I still find that super appealing to me on this, but how about we talk about this other the presentment from the state of California, right? And how I kind of I listened to the guy's videos a lot. I mean, he literally talking about this book, took screenshots of some of the things he's saying, and these are some of the things you were talking about too, where you accept for value in return. And so now to kind of explain to the people what you're basically doing there with the accepting for value, if you could, Bleak.
Okay, so like when you're dealing with the presentment, let me get where I'm at here. Presentment.
I know I got to find mine too. It's I got fucking 3 cases going here and fucking they're mixed up, right? But okay, I think here yeah. And they talk about getting dictionary. Okay, go.
Right. So under the UCC, which is the Uniform Commercial Code, this is going to be subsection 3-501. A presentment means any demand made by or on behalf of a person entitled to enforce an instrument to pay the instrument made to the drawee or party obligated to pay the instrument, or in case of a note or an accepted draft payable at a bank to the bank, or to an accepted draft made to the drawee. The following rules are subject to Article 4 Agreement of Parties and the Clearinghouse Rules. And this is just it goes on to basically describe what is the right of someone to enforce the instrument or the presentment, right. Okay. As such. So first off, the presentment may be made at any place of payment of the instrument and must be made at a place of payment if the instrument is payable at a bank in the United States. It may be made by any commercially reasonable means, including oral, written, or electronic communications, whenever the demand for the payment or acceptance is received by the person to whom the presentment is made and is effective if made to any one or two more of the makers, acceptors, drawees, or payers of. Now, check it out. Upon demand of the person to whom the presentment is made, the person making the presentment must 1. Exhibit the instrument, 2. Give reasonable identification, and if the presentment is made on behalf of another person, reasonable evidence of authority to do so, and 3. Sign a receipt on the instrument for payment, for any payment made, or to surrender the instrument if full payment is made. Now, this is important because they don't do this. Without dishonoring the instrument, the party to whom the presentment is made may, 1, return the instrument for lack of necessary endorsement. Now, that's what I was talking about looks like your signature. It purports to look like my signature, but it looks like a copy of my signature. Or 2, refuse the payment, refuse payment or acceptance for failure of the presentment to comply with the terms of the instrument, an agreement of the parties, or any applicable law or rule. This is why they have the void where prohibited on everything. Party to whom a presentment is made may treat the presentment as occurring on the next business day after the day of the presentment if the party to whom the presentment is made has just established a cutoff hour of not earlier than 2 p.m. for shit.
God, legalese is so exciting, isn't it?
Well, I mean, this is important because all of these fucking things, like if you look at it from my end, like instruments and acceptance and dishonor, all these things are highlighted and they're underlined. And that's because you can click on these things and it will tell you exactly what fucking definitions they're using and where they pull them from. And it's like Jason said, their language will fucking hang them every time. And you can nail their fucking sack to a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, boss, you got anything you want to throw in on this? We were just talking about probate and moving into that kind of stuff. Presentments.
Presentments. That's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you there? Oh, he's muted here. Oh, he's on chat.
There you go. Can you?
Yeah. Yep. Get real close to that. Like you're just talking in the phone.
That's what I did with the mortgage company is, well, I did other shit too, but
okay.
I got a payoff. I called them and said, hey, send me a payoff, a signed payoff. So they sent me a signed payoff. So I sent them a coupon for that amount. And I sent it certified mail, the whole fucking deal. And I sent it using the postal rule. So it was accepted as soon as the postman got it.
Okay.
10 days later, they sent a thing back saying, well, we don't accept that. Well, you didn't return it. So obviously you did accept that. And we argued about that for a month or two. And then I get a notice of foreclosure. So I sent them a letter back saying, hey, I'd be happy to pay you. Hell, I'll pay you in gold and silver coins as soon as you show me I owe a fucking debt.
Okay.
And they just kept going, and we went to foreclosure court. And there's only 5 things that the Code of Criminal or Code of Civil Procedure says that'll stop that expedited foreclosure. One of them is you paying. So I paid.
Right.
I paid with a coupon. I
paid with a coupon.
Yeah, but before then, I had taken them. I removed them as trustee and beneficiary, and put my buddy as a trustee, and my son as the beneficiary of that note, and then rescinded the contract.
Remind me, what note are we talking about?
The note you did for your application is a security.
Yeah, the security at closing that they call the promissory note. It's not a fucking promissory note, and it's not a mortgage. It's a retail installment agreement, like Jason was saying.
Right?
It's consumer goods.
Foreclosure? Is that what you?
Yeah, with a foreclosure. So I would, so they went ahead with a foreclosure. Well, I beat them in the state court, and I sued them in the state court.
Did you say you got a payout?
Say again?
You got a payout from them?
Not yet. We're in federal court. We're in federal court right now, and then I just filed IRS documents on their ass.
They are ducking him really hard, and probably wishing that it hadn't been removed at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
3 years now, they haven't gotten me out. They're not any closer now than they were the day they sent me the first letter.
That's awesome. No, I'm looking for my damn notes on this fucking thing this levy, right? That they sent me. But okay, I think that might be them. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys or kind of read out what they're throwing at me as their presentment. And so okay, this is the backstory on this shit. When I spent a little bit of time in California, like 2019, doing stand-up down there and shit, hanging out with my buddy, I was going to go to this craft show and sell some stuff, right? And they said that I needed this fucking little permit to sell anything in fucking California, right? And I know I'm fucking a dumbass, but I went ahead and fucking got the stupid permit, right? And now it's like it's supposedly something like if you want to, they're like looking at me like I'm a Walmart or a big fucking franchise or something like that, right? It was in order to some kind of thing about taxes there in fucking California, right? I know I should have did it. But anyway, they've been sending me these notices saying that since I never sent them back any fucking response, that they started to give me this like $100 a month or something like that, or even somewhere around there, a little fine for not fucking paying this thing, right? And so now it's up to 3,300, right? And they're claiming that they're going to put a levy on my property here for this $3,300, right?
Okay, so there's 5 ways. There's 5 ways you can respond to this presentment, or it's basically a draft.
Here, hold on.
Yeah,
hold
go.
on.
Go ahead.
Speak right into that little bitty microphone.
Here's what you do. You look up how to figure out how to write a bill of exchange.
Bill of exchange. I'm going to listen to playback.
Make sure it says done in good faith on it. Write it for 33,000, not 3,300, and send it to him in the mail.
Okay, so
there's probably some other fees. Take it all out of there and send me a refund for the rest.
bill of exchange.
Yeah.
Bill of exchange. So I'm accepting their offer and responding with another offer.
No, you look up how to write a bill of exchange. You sent me that one.
Right. I've got a couple of really good ones. And court cases where they've held up. Now, Reg, go ahead and mark the time, man. This was about an hour and 9 minutes, or 69 minutes. What he's talking about is an honor and acceptance. This is accepting and carrying out performance of the presentment by saying, okay, by paying it. You're giving them a bill of exchange, an international bill of exchange to be exact.
So when you said 33,000, you'd be like, so I'm switching the tables on them and they would have to pay me that?
Yeah, they'll write you a check back.
No shit. I mean, how long will this take?
The IRS, it took a couple weeks.
What?
Right.
So you did this to the IRS?
Yeah, my wife did. Got $160,000 check back.
Shut the fucking shit. Yes,
so check this out.
Bill of exchange.
Bill of exchange, and I got some information that you can look up on the Telegram. So
this is way better than what they think, right?
Right. So now another way to do this is to honor it through conditional acceptance, and this is accepting upon a party meeting a condition by you. So it's an acceptance and a redraft. An example would be a conditional acceptance for value, and the negative avertment. So, which says, sure, I'll pay you upon proof of your claim that I'm that I'm not the one holding the genuine security interest. Now, when they can't meet that proof of claim, that's when you hit them with the refusal for cause without dishonor. So there's no dishonor. It's an erroneous claim that's refused for cause, and no liability has been evidenced pursuant to UCC 3-501 and California Commercial Code 3501.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Right. Bill of exchange. Then that's the way I'll roll with it. I'll look it up.
Yeah. In the meantime, if that doesn't work, then just have your conditional acceptance upon proof of claim, fucking, and your negative avertment. Yeah, then just have your negative avertment and all that shit ready to go.
I went and got some stamps. Right now, this is important too, right? You got to send everything with the postage stamps and have them canceled. So that gives you the postmaster general type thing. Now, is that? I mean, that's correct. Right?
Perfecting your title by doing all that, you're perfecting your title. Now, some people you have to have stamps. Some people say, in this day and age, their postage meter is fine as long as it's round bobbed.
Okay. I know things have changed. Like you don't have to do the different colored inks, right?
Well, on some things, yeah. Now there's one process that's being taught with 1099 Bs and 1099 ESs, and with the Bs, you want to have a trust open, and you're going to sign your trust with gold or with purple ink.
Purple. See, purple. That makes a difference, right? It's like royalty, right?
Royalty, yeah, because you're going to govern yourself. You're going to govern yourself through the
right. You're the sovereign.
Yeah, rather than subjugating yourself to this provisional government.
So okay, and there's another color ink that you need too.
Well, when you set up the trust, there's specific ways to set the trust up because there's certain documents you're going to file with these entities.
Right.
I've heard you need like red ink for things too.
No, as it works right now and as it stands right now, you haven't made it obvious to these people that you're not an accommodation party. So that's one who signs a commercial paper in capacity for the purpose of lending your name or your credit to another party to instrument. So this is defined in UCC subsection 3-415. Such a party is a surety. But what if you didn't sign an instrument, for example, in your case, or whatever. Are you still the surety? Are you or are you a guarantor? You know what I mean? Besides,
Well, I mean, I like this whole bill of exchange thing. That to me is something that I'm definitely going to do with this. Basically, what it is it's they're saying that they got my all caps name right as the debtor, and then they're saying the possible property that they're going to see is my house here, right? And so,
right.
and they've gotten a hold of the credit union I'm in, so they got some personal privy information, which is probably a violation, right? And so I could probably have multiple little bits of leverage on them, huh?
Yeah,
Right.
so the way you get this bill of exchange is the new money under Proclamation 2039 is codified in the Trading with the Enemy Act 40
Right.
40 statutes at large 411 page 418 section 7E.
Okay. Trading with the Enemy Act. I've just heard of this.
Yep. And
And that's how they're all operating.
Notes, drafts, bills of exchange, letters of credit, bankers' acceptances, trade acceptances, and coupons are money.
Coupons.
Exactly.
So
You're not an accommodation party, man. An accommodation party has no value, no rights, no remedy. That would be basically congratulating yourselves concerning your transformation into the fucking goyim. You know what I mean? Without the name, title, or credit, you have no rights and no title, and you have no remedy. And what's worse, all your labor and services to fulfill the shit is considered nothing more than a gift to the holder in due course under 31 USC 321 subsection D2. You know what I mean?
So what will compel them to pay this though on the bill of exchange? Like pay me
They
for
have to honor that motherfucker. If they dishonor it, it's fucking paid. Correct?
It's either Guarantee Bank versus Henwood or Henwood versus Guarantee Bank.
Okay.
It says that failure to accept lawful United States currency is a felony.
Oh shit.
And it is interference with trade and commerce under 15 United States Code subsection 1 and comes at $100 million per entity fine.
Fuck. Dude, so yeah, they're gonna fucking cut a check like right now.
Mission Control brought up a very interesting point to make sure that everybody knows to research the front and the back of these fucking claims that they're making or these counters that they're making or the assertions, because there's always ways that they can come back at you. And so a good idea is to have yourself a fucking O'Connor's Texas Cause of Actions or something like that shows you all the possible defenses. And there are aggregate sites where you can take this to Precedent AI at precedent.com. You can take this to freelegalchat.com and take it to their AI. Just ask about the other common defenses for these things that are
AI,
used. Right. Yeah. And while you're at it, you want to make sure and ask about the elements of the claim too that you'll have to prove, because whether it's a tort or a cause of action makes a big fucking difference.
Yeah,
you mean the claim they're making on me?
Find out what you need to prove that claim, and make sure you kind of put that right in the get go.
Oh man,
poke in the eye.
Go a little closer to that, Mike, and say exactly what that was again.
You always want to find out exactly what you need to prove for that cause of action that you're going after them for. So if it's malicious prosecution, you have to have they have to.
Are we still talking about the presentment of the fine?
He was talking about something else there.
Right. The one from California, the $3,300 they're trying to extort from me.
Bill of exchange. Yeah, just send them a bill of exchange. Like I said, you need to do the research on how it is.
I can do that.
I can't think of that case out of Florida that is the one that Bleak sent me. That was just
okay.
The judge just waylaid him. He said, "Look, this is a banking instrument, and you're a bank. Cash it. Get out."
Okay. What was the one you were just talking about? What was that in reference to?
That's the one that says if they refuse.
Oh.
If they refuse, Guarantee Bank versus Henwood, or it's
okay.
But they say if they refuse lawful U.S. currency, it's a interference with trade and commerce.
Nice.
Under 15 U.S.C. 1, and it's also a felony under the RICO Act.
Damn, a felony. They don't want to do that. Okay, let's briefly switch to the probate thing then. Okay, now I just put in a motion because, okay, get this, Jason, get this, right? I've been going through this for 2.5 years where my siblings have been contesting my mother's holographic will, which I entered into the court, and that the master, right, the junior judge, he found that I fulfilled my burden in that, and that the will should be validated. And then the Superior Court judge validated without even another hearing, because we were supposed to have one more hearing. And then I was looking to, my sister's the one who's been contesting, and she was looking for personal rep job, right, which has ownership powers. And so get this, in the same order he validates the thing and assigns my sister personal rep, gives her the letters of intestacy, right? Not the letters of testamentary, right? The opposite. And so it acts like, oh, they're acting like it's a mistake, right? But the motion I put in should correct it. But I mean, right now she's got ownership powers of the fucking estate. She could sell this fucking house, is what I was thinking, right? And so, do you have any experience in that level of that area?
You would ask for an injunction to stop anything from being able to do anything until this matter is solved.
Right. So far nothing's happened, right?
No.
But anyway,
no,
they say it's
check
gonna
out
take
what he's saying. Check out what he's saying, because this is a how would you say, it's preventative steps. This is preventative maintenance. You put in you put in an emergency temporary injunction, for relief in the effect of what he's talking about right here.
Yep. Ask for a hearing to get it heard, and just shut the whole fucking thing down until this is finished.
Okay.
So that way she can't do anything.
So we're calling temporary injunction. Good.
Yeah, a temporary.
What's that take? I mean, is it like just like making a motion or something then?
Yeah. It's basically asking for an injunction just to make sure that she can't do anything since this judge has.
It's better than trying to sue her later, right?
Remember when you file, brother, that you've got to send a copy to them, and you need to file a fucking order as well. You need to file a fucking order as well. And I would go ahead and put your points of authority in a memorandum. You know what I'm saying? And file that as well. Those 3 documents are basically, judicial notice and a memorandum in law. Your motion for the injunction and the order as well, the blank order, but you need to also insert a motion.
Memorandum in motion.
Yeah.
You need to also have an order of motion hearing date. You need to put a part in your documentation where they could set a motion hearing date.
We'll need a hearing?
Well, because it's going to have to be heard. Yeah, you'll have to argue this orally, and so you need that clerk to schedule a motion hearing date, or they will fucking steamroll right over it.
Okay. Yeah, I put in a motion right now to correct the record, right? And so, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard for them. The will is on file and validated,
correct,
right?
In that case,
they'll be breaking laws.
In that case, a show cause order might be in order as well, in order to show cause.
Cause or either like a finding of facts or conclusions of law that got dipshit to make a stupid order like that.
Show cause order. Okay, temporary injunction. Good. This is good.
And so you ask the court for their findings of fact and conclusions of law, and object to the damn thing in writing as well. Now, back to the negotiable instrument. If you want to jump back on the definition and read about
we're getting a little interference.
Dash 102 and Sure. If you want to jump back into UCC subsection 3 and talk about those negotiable instruments at any time, we can do it tonight, or we can do it another time, man. But I've got all that shit pulled up.
Right? Is that the one we were just talking about where they sent me the bill?
Yeah.
Yep. Bill of exchange.
Yeah. I mean, okay. No, not just this California thing. Can that be used for like your regular bills, monthly bills coming from the fucking power company?
I haven't got it to work with them. They ignore it. Which if you want your power shut off, yeah, great.
Right.
But that's a fight I'm getting ready to have, because now you can sue them for breach of trust and breach of contract, and then turn their ass in with a 3949A or a 1099B to the IRS. Because motherfucker, you got a open-ended security signed in blank that you've got a hold of, and I got nothing. You shut my fucking power off, and you didn't take my payment, my lawful payment. So
and you can see how joining the Telegram group and bringing these things to a head here in the group 100%. And then on live streams like this are beneficial, so beneficial, because like when me and Jason get together, we are fucking tenacious. we're like a couple of dogs just
No,
tapping.
I love it. You guys, you're quoting the
so-
numbers, the laws, all that. Yeah. And
Right.
if anybody needs any advice, I've been working with Michael, and also I'll say it for him. He could use a couple bucks right now if anybody. I mean, if you need something, he's going to help you out. And just I've been trying to get him some dog food money here and there too, right? And so anybody, absolutely talk to him because he's got great advice. He's going to tell you exactly how you need to what forms and whatnot you need to get. I love the way you guys throwing out these IRS forms, man. Now that shit is scary to them, right?
Hell
Right.
yeah.
Right. It's like sicking the fucking big dog on them, right?
Yep.
Well, dude, everybody fears the IRS. Even the IRS fears the fucking IRS. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Fuck. Okay. Now, what are these forms you guys are talking about throwing out now? If you want to speak on that a little bit. Oh, we almost lost him there. But
I'm sure he'll pop back in. So now the 3949A is an identity theft form with the IRS, and when you do this in conjunction with the W-9, with a request for a W-9, if they refuse that W-9 and you do this online with the IRS, there's a little box that you can check that says that you were refused that EIN or that W-9, and when you do this, this triggers an automatic investigation, and the state's Secretary of Commerce has to pull their license, so they're fucking stopped. They're stopped from conducting any business in lawful legal commerce. Boss, you want to hop in?
Wow. That sounds pretty fucking scary. I mean, nobody wants to see the fucking IRS.
Jason, he was just talking about the 3949A and the use and the benefit of that. If you wanted to chime in.
So basically, what you're doing is telling them, "Hey, these cocksuckers didn't pay tax."
Right.
So for example, what I did with PennyMac, my loan company, it's in federal court right now. But what I did was during discovery, I got the dumb bastards to give me 2 affidavits that swear on pains and penalties of perjury that PennyMac endorsed the note in blank and kept it. Well, I'll be a motherfucker. The Title 26 says if you endorsed the note in blank and kept it, you did not. The trust collapsed because of lack of trust res.
Wow.
There's no mortgage due. And I said, oops, now it's capital gains tax 100%. And it's $50,000 a month times 3 different fines and $50,000 a year for another fine for not fucking thing to the trust. So I reported the rest to the fucking IRS.
Right.
Guess who else had called me asking, "Hey, you want to come talk about this tax fraud matter?" No, I really don't. The assholes that arrested me, that put me in jail.
Oh,
they called and wanted to talk about it.
no,
I don't
way.
They said talk about it with the IRS.
Oh shit, man. So, okay, what do you expect to happen in your next court date?
I expect to get rid of it before then, but
okay,
if it doesn't, this will be a fun one because everything he tried to do to keep, like I was telling you before, the first day they threw all my evidence out. And
wow.
I was like, okay. And he's like, oh, that's, and they wanted to keep the laws out, the laws that said I had a right to do what I did. They wouldn't even let me bring that in. I said, okay. So he said, oh, you should have read the rules of evidence. So I went home and read them twice that night. And I went back in the next day and I said, take judicial notice of these cases. And he lost his mind because he's like, fuck, that dude did go home and read them. And so I made it. So
yeah, they're counting on you to not. They're counting on you to not.
Of course. Right.
They step on, and I already had my interlocutory appeal in, and which they converted into a regular appeal. So I just pissed him off all the way around. But
so I got to ask you, are you like a state national then?
I don't know as I necessarily.
That's kind of like sovereign, right?
I'm a U.S. citizen, but that driver's license is the U.S. citizen, so I just control the U.S. citizen. When it comes to
right, hanging on to it.
That's your person. That's your person. That's why you don't. That's why you don't step away from your person.
Right, because you need them as a shield to take the brunt of the shit, right?
Imagine it like a fucking demolition derby where you're the only individual in the arena and there's just a bunch of running cars. You take your person on over to someone else's person. If there ain't a fucking man or a woman behind that wheel, whose car is it? It's yours if you hop out that fucking door and into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get that.
And then at that point, you can take these persons and fucking steer them at each other at insane rates of speed and just fucking,
Right. I get that. No, that's
This is
good.
what
You're
a
gonna
stop-
need
this
that
is what a
straw man. Then.
stopple- This is what a stopple by misconduct and a stopple by a promissory estoppel or fucking a stopple by concealment. You know, these you know, these are important. These are important things.
Right.
All right, here's another one for you. He's talking about his bills.
Okay.
There's a girl. What's her name? She's out there now putting out stuff, and she's saying take a closed checking account within the last 3 years, closed within the last 3 years, send them a notice of intent, give them 72 hours to respond, and then start sending that you're going to use that account for set off for your bills. And she said
Okay.
she's
So
done
you said a closed account?
closed account.
Okay. So like I got
Like,
a spare. I mean, I've got a closed account.
All right, so write this down. 90 minutes.
so,
Right. What? Okay. 11:30. Right.
so you're gonna take and send
Talk.
them
Can get into that mic a little bit more, please. Sorry.
you're gonna send a notice
Good.
of intent, a
Got you.
notice of intent, letting them know that you're going to use that account for set off. Now look up the definition of closed account and stuff like that, so you know what you're talking about a little bit. But and like give them 72 hours to respond. In 72 hours, write checks on that for your bills on that account. Now she said she's done this 3 times with Verizon and it's worked.
Oh shit. And
Yep.
it works.
Right.
I haven't done it
Right.
yet.
Okay.
I've I actually I had a minor bit of success setting off a fucking a debt with the Kansas Gas Company for $600. Now there is no money, and this is what I've been saying to you, and Jason can really drive this home ad nauseum. But there is no fucking money.
Right.
You have no ability to pay for anything, and they may not demand that you pay in Federal Reserve notes. It's a fucking gift, anyways. So,
Right.
anyways, this instrument that they're using or issuing as a fucking as a statement is not a bill. It's not a true bill. And so in that instance, there are only 2 things you can do, man. You can either discharge that shit or you can set it off. You can't fucking pay it.
Is that like my regular? I mean, the bills that I get here for gas and
Yep.
is
Everything,
that
everything,
everything?
and all those are a public service. All those are a public service and public trust. They shouldn't be billing you for that in the first place. And when you start looking into the code, your local code and ordinance on this, and this is that video that Derek Gonzalez did and uploaded last on the Ralph K, where the storm clouds are forming or gathering or whatever channel
Okay.
on YouTube. And
Sure.
it's fucking great. It's called like share this video 1,000 times a day, and there's a reason why.
Okay.
Because you've been named as a customer and a consumer by your fucking municipality, and this changes the rules. Nowhere in the fucking laws that were enumerated into positive law was Congress ever fucking dumb enough to give fucking quote unquote de facto government the ability to act in this fucking capacity and treat us as goddamn customers. There's nothing that says that the government shall generate a fucking revenue off the backs of its fucking citizens. That does
Right.
not exist. We're talking about a country where we fought a fucking war in fucking skinny jeans, high water skinny jeans, and frilly fucking shirts, you know, with triangle bayonets fixed to make sure that everybody knew that this isn't the way that it fucking goes. We don't pay taxes and we don't do this bullshit. You know what I mean? Simple
Right.
as.
So I got a question for you guys. Now somebody told me, and I heard this too, right? Had I been fucking smart and gotten right on this within the first 72 hours of this traffic ticket, that I could have sent it back with a acceptance for value type thing on it, written on it, right? Is that now how legit is that?
Technically, yes, you could send it back without, within 72 hours. Contract
Right.
refused.
Contract refused.
These people have been getting away with this garbage for so long. They're not going to just accept that.
Okay.
They're going to do what they do. You're going to have to either A, play their game, or B, stick the big dog on them. Let the big dog slap them
That's
around.
big dog, right?
So,
No, that's good.
What I just did with these court cases was did the 1099-B on them.
1099-B on, right? I mean, okay. How do you do that? Do you file that?
Yeah, you file a 1099-A, letting them know that hey, somebody's acquiring property, and it's taxable. So
And you send that in on like a fucking traffic ticket?
say again.
You can send that in on a traffic ticket?
Well, sure, why not?
Dude, they're trying to charge me $1,200 for this shit.
Charge. See, there's a charge.
Right.
Now, when you go and you do some work for a guy down the road and you paint his house and he pays you $3,000 and he gives you a W-9, say, here you go. Oh, great. Hey, thanks. Because that was your business. Same thing, right? You're going to report it, right? Well, you're going to do the same thing with this. They're creating securities in your name. They're charging you. Okay, well, we need to let the IRS know that there's a taxable event.
Dude, that's great. I love that. 1099 A and B.
Then you do a B, and they're going to send you a letter back. Now, when the court gets a copy of that B, they're going to be flipping the fuck out.
Right.
No shit.
Absolutely.
But you got to do this like when it first happened, so you got time, right?
Well, I've been going at the one I've already done my jail term, and it's still the appeals court's still fucking around.
Wow.
So I did on that one too.
But that's a long game, and so you're eventually going to get a payoff from that.
Say that again.
You might get a payoff from that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should.
Because
dude, that's the incentive here, man. Get the fucking payout.
The IRS audited their books. How much did you pull? For that 1,200, how many bonds did you create? There's bid bond, payment bond, performance bond, penal bonds, penal.
Yeah. Good. And there's a tax owed on every one of those. That's the
the IRS is gonna fucking be the tax dog then.
The bail bonds lady loses her fucking mind when I'm in there asking for a W-9. She literally runs for the door.
Oh shit.
Right, this is what I'm saying. This is an employee-employer relationship. If you're working to pay off a debt to somebody and they're acting as a debt collector, then it fucking qualifies as an action that's governed under Title 15, USC. What is it? 1601 through 1693. And so it's subject to the Fair Debt Collectors Practices Act. It's also subject to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And these things are governed by certain fucking rules, man. Like it's an employee-employer relationship just based on the fact that you're working to pay the debt off. So that right there leaves it subject to qui tam actions under the Whistleblower and the False Claims Act.
We're winding down, man. I got to freaking bounce out here. Well, we still got a little bit of a while, but I'm paying attention to it. I wanted you guys to touch maybe on something that I heard about too. Now, what about this being your own banker thing? I mean, is that what you're doing there, Jason? You're your own banker?
Yeah and no. With what?
Okay.
What I'm doing right now is what this girl is teaching because it kind of makes sense. And my wife has done a lot with IRS forms and like that, and she's pretty good with it. And what she did is she paid a civil penalty, a $5,000 civil penalty with the bill of exchange for $165,000, and they
so she got the 165.
She got 160 back. So, but then the bank stole it, and then now then they sent it back to the IRS. So now we're trying to get it back again. So
right. See, so here's how this works essentially under the New Deal and after House Joint Resolution 192. The new money is essentially what is it? It's acceptances, trade acceptances, draft acceptances, notes, checks, certified check deposits, cashier's checks. Go ahead.
Notes, drafts, bills of exchange, letters of credit, bankers acceptances, trade acceptances, and coupons.
So this shit's none of that.
Nope. And so the way this works is that like we have special drawing rights with the International Monetary Fund, for instance. But I mean, a lot of this just depends on fucking UCC filings and all kinds of dumb shit. So it's a lot of fucking hoops to jump through, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Didn't you tell me you were working on something where you're going to get a payout coming there from Michael?
I think there's a possibility that a 1099 SE and a
ES.
Oh yeah, ES. Yeah.
ES. Oh, were you working on something like that?
Yeah, I did that.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, and how'd that work out?
Well, I'm waiting. The IRS just got a week ago or so.
Okay. Now, you've gotten some payouts though already, right?
Yeah, I've beaten debt collectors. I beat debt collectors all along. I mean,
okay.
I've lived for quite a few months off of winnings.
Nice. That's good. That's good. Winning is. You want anyone that you want to share in particular?
Well, I mean, here's a good one. TD Bank Target card. We charged it up, threw the fucking thing in the garbage because it couldn't pay it anyway. So,
Okay, it's like a credit card.
Yeah, they started calling. So when they called about 50 times, I filed suit in small claims court because here it's $20,000, and I just filed for state charges for FDCPA stuff, not not at the federal level. So.
Right, you can bill them. You can bill them the fuck up under the FDCPA. It's $1,000 per violation, and they don't get to argue it, man. Congress fucking said so.
Yeah,
you know.
I did it just for the Texas version of that first in small claims. Ended up with 3,000 cash.
Nice.
And then the debt collector that bought the alleged debt,
right?
They sent a letter to me, and I immediately sent them a conditional acceptance. And then when you don't pay, you get a bill, or when you don't prove it, you get a bill. So they got the letter and they ditched the debt. So I sent them a bill for $54,000.
And again, that's where you're looking in California. That's an erroneous presentation under California commercial law 1305.
So the $50,000 debt just disappeared.
What's that?
You said the $50,000 debt just disappeared then?
Oh well, no. The card's gone. They wrote the card off. They charge it off.
Right.
So
and how much was on that?
Oh, it was only like $6,000.
Oh, only $6,000, but still, that's $6,000.
So then I got paid $3,000 in cash. The card's gone. It'll take me one letter to clean that off of the credit report.
Damn.
The debt collector that first sent me a letter saying we're representing Target Bank or TD Bank.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, prove it and I'll pay you. And in 30 days, they ditched it. They sold it to somebody else. So I sent them a bill for $54,000, which I'm getting ready to file suit on.
Oh, shit.
It'll be $154 when I file or more. And then there's another debt collector picked it up. And as soon as the day I got their letter, I sent them a letter saying, happy to pay, prove your claim.
Oh, shit.
At the same time, I had TD Bank in court in a lawsuit. So I knew he wasn't representing TD Bank.
Damn.
So he instead of proving the claim, he filed suit. I said, "Oh, great!" So I filed a motion to dismiss and a counterclaim and a motion for sanctions.
So you knew how to file a lawsuit, right?
Yes. Well, this gets better.
As we wind down, could you kind of describe what it's going to take? Does it cost money to file a suit?
Where are you at?
To file a lawsuit, can you describe what it takes to do that? Does it take money?
Where are you at?
I'm in Alaska.
Okay, you're going to want to look in your Bill of Rights for one.
Okay.
And Bleak can tell you because Kansas has a good. It'll tell you that the shit's free if you're filing that shit in federal court.
Okay. And what's
those
that
filing fees for corporations, and even
not in forma pauperis. It says justice shall be free and without charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what does it take to file a lawsuit? What do you got to do? You got to write up papers. What?
The process it starts with a complaint.
Hang on one second. I'll go get some. I'll go get one.
Okay.
All right. So while he's grabbing a thing, this starts with either a complaint or a claim. Now you're a man. A man makes a fucking claim. A corporation makes a complaint, and so you come forward with a claim. And my claim can be as simple as I, a man, have suffered harm by way of trespass. I name the party and I fucking file it. They've been served a summons. I have 90 days to amend my complaint. So
that's the start of a lawsuit.
Right. And it doesn't take much more than that to start one. Harm by way of trespass. This is a tort claim. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing this, it falls under a tort claim, which means that you have to prove up harm instead of harm per se. I'm gonna go ahead and get quiet just in case Jason's back. I'm sure whatever he's got's fucking golden. If everybody wants to stay tuned for that, it'll be a great way to cap this fucker off.
Nice.
Give me a minute here. I'm still looking.
Okay. We can barely hear you again.
You're good. And so the important thing to know about this is that Jurisdictionary is available for the low wink wink price of $250 at howtowinincourt.com, or one can actually reach out to the motherfucker by other means via Bleak Narratives at gmail.com. That's yeah, that'd be another way that someone could procure said information, which is equivalent to about 2 years of fucking law school. You can come off of a weekend. You can come off of a weekend having taken Jurisdictionary twice, and you can fucking smoke a goddamn 10-year fucking trial lawyer. You know what I mean?
So
Based
say
on-
that again.
based on
Repeat that again.
procedural learning.
So we everybody gets it. No, Bleak Narratives. Say that again.
It's Bleak Narratives at gmail.com, which is going to be Bravo, Limo, Echa, Alpha, Kilo, whatever, plural. Yeah. So, and I mean, you know,
I'm going to drop that email into the fucking thing. So you guys go ahead and continue on.
All right. So to chop it up, like Jason is the master at this shit. Like, this motherfucker can go and walk up and smack somebody's goddamn book out of their hand, really, and send them back to the old textbooks, like I like to say, man. You want to go ahead and take over here, boss?
Oh, we can see you. All right.
So a small claims is real simple. A lot of times you can go in there and they'll give you a packet.
But we're still, God, I hate the mic is just not giving you a. There you go.
All right, so the small claims is real easy. Usually, you can go in there and get a packet, and it'll give you a form to fill out. It'll tell you how much are you asking for, what are you suing for, and I think I put in there something as simple as I'm suing for violations of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Small claims, you're going to want to stick to the Alaska Debt Collection Practices Act. I don't know whatever code that is up there. I've never looked at Alaska's code, so
I'll find it.
So it's also going to be Alaska's consumer protections laws.
State codes. If you're going to state court, stick with state codes, because the defendant can pull you to federal court if you use federal codes in a state case.
Ooh, no.
So if you don't know how to play federal court, don't do it until you know how to play federal court.
No, I don't want to.
So it can be as simple as that. Just say, hey, violations of, for here, it's the Texas Finance Code, section 392.0, whatever it is. You called me 50 times in the last 30 days, and it says I'm entitled to $500 per violation. So I'm suing for what,
250,000. See, that's the thing too. Okay, with this California thing, they've sent me like this bill, right, with a little window where you can see the address and everything. Now that's Michael said that's a violation, right?
If they're sending you a letter with a window in it, that's $1,000.
Okay, so they've sent me like
it's called a glassine window. Any glassine window is $1,000. If there happens to be two on that motherfucker, then oopsie, that's a $2,000 violation because Congress said so.
And now is there other violations I can note on them?
Yeah, anything outside the envelope, any symbol outside the envelope, anything that shows debt collection outside the envelope is a violation.
Right.
The FDCPA only defines 8 words. So if they call you a debtor, you might as well have called me a cocksucker, because that's $1,000 to me.
That's right. $1,000. $1,000. It's for abusive language. Any abusive language, any use of any symbol, is $1,000. $1,000. They call you at your workplace. $1,000. They call one of your fucking loved ones or something like that. It's $1,000.
They got a hold of my credit union, right?
Here, look. Here's one I corrected up here.
Okay. Oh shit! Let me solo screen you. Oh. So.
Symbol.
Okay. So all the highlighted words are words you can charge them.
Oh yeah, I did charge them.
Absolutely. And this is because Congress said so. They can take it up with fucking Congress. There's nothing that can be done to circumvent what has been enacted into positive fucking law. And Title 15 has been enacted into positive law. Period.
God damn.
So then this is the other debt collector, the third one off of that same credit card.
The third one.
This.
Oh shit! Let me get you back on solo. Okay. Nice. Okay, I see it. I'll come back and watch the playback.
here at the end here. There's the amount.
You can't be held to the same stringent. You can't be held to the same stringent standards of an attorney at law. You know what I'm saying? So if your filings are insufficient because of form, it's one of these things where the pleadings are supposed to be construed liberally to fucking by the judges.
Here's your debt. Here's your other things for your debt collection. Ready?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna come back and look at this and take a screenshot.
Essentially, he's showing you an invoice. This is a bill.
Yeah.
This is a bill of lading.
It's sideways, but it's okay. You got the whole thing in it. Now those dollar amounts, those are millions.
And then there's the state.
Tens of thousands generally. What was that, Jason?
Shit.
That's the total. That's the third case that I went against these ass wipes.
How you think that it's going to succeed totally? I mean,
it can't not. This is not up to the judicial discretion. This is not up to judicial discretion. This is up to Congress. Congress has already fucking made their yep.
Absolutely, this will pay. Here's the deal. I've beaten Verizon. I started with Verizon. I beat them. I've beaten American Express. I've beaten their little lapdog Gatestone. Got paid for a second time. I've beaten TD Bank. I've beaten.
Damn.
A current understudy mine out of fucking Chicago is currently trouncing fucking Midland, and he's about to turn around and sue Blitten Gaines and Capital One or Bank of America or something like that for quite a fucking hefty amount of money. So you know what I mean.
I've got 3 of those lawsuits just like that one right now in federal court going right now, and then at least 60 million sitting on penny Mac cases right now.
Yeah, this is no bullshit. This is no bullshit. All this is tried and true. This is all sitting on 100 years of fucking Supreme Court case rulings and judges' published opinions. What Jason's messing with and his theory and his process fucking unrivaled right now in the whole guru fucking field. So all these motherfuckers can say what they want. Jason shares his process for free, and that's because the shit fucking works. Those motherfuckers charge you money, and that's because theirs doesn't.
Jason, you got some kind of link I could throw out there? I mean, I can't give you a wrench and StreamYard, but you could throw me a comment in the private chat, and I can copy it and throw it in, just like I've been doing here with Bleak stuff. And
he doesn't really. Jason doesn't really have any socials unless you've set anything up, boss.
Yeah, unless you set something up. I'm kind of
okay, that's cool. I was just wondering.
Eventually, we're going to move into the radio. We're going to start doing a podcast or some kind of radio thing. We'd like to fall in with the same corporation that fucking Randy Kelting and Brett Fountain have come to start using out of Texas, and their show's phenomenal. It's called Rule of Law Radio. It's on every Thursday night. It can be found online relatively easy by searching for Rule of Law Radio, and these are fundamentals. They're basically they're sharing the same tactics and techniques as Dr. Graves in the jurisdictional course for free in audio that's fully downloadable with XML spreadsheets so that you can even kind of cross-reference what you're getting before you download the episode. But I mean, there's not a bit of fluff. Any live stream that you catch with Jason and I in it, my channel is going to be filled with this kind of stuff and more. And
I'm
so
looking forward to that.
Check it out. If you don't like it or you don't want to sub, fuck you. I hope you die in your sleep. No, I'm teasing. It's a pleasure for me to do this, man, and thank you very much for having us on tonight, Reg.
Oh, thank you guys, man. That was awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to. I remember I was in on one of your streams there. It was definitely. I mean, I would listen to the whole thing. It was informative as hell. So, and we don't have much of a crowd here on this miniature little channel I have left, right? But a few people got on. There'll be a few people watching the replay. I haven't been very consistent lately, and that's my fault. So, but absolutely, anytime you guys ever want to do some more talks like this, hell yes, right? I mean, I love the fact that you're making money, baby. Shit, that's amazing.
For certain. Well, that's what this is about. Jason, you want to say anything before we sign off?
Man, it's just getting out there and doing it. Learn. I had to do as I learned. So
yeah,
however you do it, do it. I mean,
do you got any site that you could recommend or any place like that?
I got I learned a lot of my stuff from Derek Gonzalez. I spent a lot of time. I still spend a lot of time talking to him personally.
Okay.
So, I
Is he
learned a
on
lot.
YouTube or something?
Yeah, he's on YouTube. That's where the storm clouds gather. Derek
Oh,
Gonzalez.
fuck yeah, dude,
Right.
badass.
And I mean, Derek is a phenomenal teacher. Like Jason, he doesn't take any shit. He doesn't allow you to make any fucking excuses, and he won't let you testify for your fucking captors. So the important
Okay.
thing to remember is that these chains on you are fucking loose because they're made for men with weak fucking wrists, and you're not that. So shake that
Yep.
shit loose and fight this motherfucker. It's compartmentalized. It's tiny, and it's
Okay.
not even real government. These are privately owned, for-profit racketeering firms taking your fucking rights and freedoms and your money. Period.
Nice.
Bingo.
They are. Yeah. So, okay, one last thing we'll sign up. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm going to court tomorrow, man. Am I gonna go? Which one should I go with? Should I go with entering in?
What does your heart tell you?
My heart's been saying to try to fucking do this. I don't want to admit to being the Strawman.
Okay, if you, in your heart, if that's where you need to be.
Okay.
You stand on that square and don't get off that square. Do not let that woman get you off that square. She's going to try.
Okay.
And if you beat her 3 times, she may walk away.
So it's 3 times.
Correct.
I've heard about this. Is that
now high frequency radio on YouTube, USFL, he's got a video that's about 3 hours long where he goes over somebody's process where they do have a win in court, and it's pretty decent. It's a very long watch. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You'll find shorter videos on my Telegram that you can watch that are basically the same thing. So
see, I have a strategy like it. When I first got this thing, I found this website where the guy nitpicks the radar and all that stuff, right? And I've got that. That was what I was going to go with, but for some reason, this other one speaks to me a little more. So, I guess I'll roll with it.
Bill, go with what you feel.
Hey, what do you guys think about me? What do you think about me starting my fucking recorder on my phone?
Absolutely. You have a right to it, and if they try to tell you that you have to turn the shit off, and they're interfering with a fucking, they're interfering. They don't have the right to fucking alter or fucking restrict or fucking.
I'm just gonna like turn it on the voice recording part and just put it in my pocket, right?
Hell yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I would check your state's fucking.
No, it's legal, but you have to give notice ahead of time, and you could literally film it.
No. What it really boils down to under the supremacy clause is federal wiretap rules. Now, if your state's not a one-party state, if your state's a two-party state, then don't do it, man, because it's you're violating federal law.
It's a two-party. I mean, what do you mean two-party?
Well, in like say Kansas, for instance, or in North Carolina, you can fucking record a phone conversation or a conversation with somebody that's supposed to be held in private.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Know what I'm saying?
I got it. Okay, I'll look that up.
They don't have to be a party. They don't have to be a party to the recording. They don't have to have knowledge or have given consent. Now, in some places like California, it's a two-party state, and that's why you'll find like when some people do the walking around asking people questions they ought to know to show how fucking retarded they are. You'll see a bunch of people in the background with their faces mosaic tiled out, and that's because they have laws in that state that prevent that kind of shit. But if you're in public, or if there's not a reasonable expectation of privacy due to some form of undress or being in a bathroom or a bedroom, then you don't have any rights. Somebody can record you in your own fucking house. Wow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll look that up. But I was thinking about that.
I got for it. I'm gonna bow the fuck out. Everybody, you're welcome to check.
Thank you guys so much, man. It's awesome. I feel a lot better, right? A lot more confident just being able to talk to you guys who already been through this and stuff. So
right. You're fine, Reg. And if you want to call me for a pep talk tonight before you go to bed or in the morning before you go to court, man, just give me a call.
Dude, I'm gonna need one. Right?
Thank
you so much.
Just go in there and know that you're the man. You're not the person. You're not the named defendant. The named defendant's not even fucking English. You know?
Absolutely. Dude, that's the you got to have that confidence, that swagger, right?
That's it.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you, my friend. I hope to talk to you in the future again.
You bet.
All right, man. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Cheers, brothers and sisters. Good way.
And whoever's left in the room, man, we'll catch up with you guys too. I got to bounce. I tried to stay with you guys as long as I could, right? Okay, I could turn this off. We can have a little Jetson call. You guys are down for that, or are we good? No. Okay. Mike's already gone. All right. Actually, looking at it, no. I better get running out the door. Thank you so much. Let's do this again. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. definitely.
Yeah. It sounds fun, man. Dude, I love to see your smiling face too. You got confidence, man. I love that. And so, do you have any kind of channel or anything like that? No channel.
I don't
Okay.
have anything right now. Nope.
Well, we'll welcome you here anytime because they were asking in the chat. And so, all right. Big love, man. Thank you so much. And we're going to see you very soon. I'm going to let you know what goes on tomorrow, right? I mean, I'm going to let Michael. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Later.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Fucking A, dude. Okay, you heard that. You saw the fucking amounts that they're going to be able to get paid off. They've already been paid off in some, man. And we're talking millions here. And this is it. This is the gold, baby. And so I got to get running right now. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I'm going to be listening to the restream on this and taking notes. And so definitely tonight I'm going to be up studying, right? I'm going to let you guys all know. Try to be back once again on Wednesday. Get out there, boost your immune system, right? You're going to need to. And because World War III is coming now that they got the guy that's going to be able to, that everybody will fight for, right? Everybody's going to fight for him. They wouldn't fight for that other bitch. You know that. Thank you, Joey. Great stream. Thank you so much. I thought it was too, man. Amazing information from these guys. And they've been through it. They're going through it. I want to start making some of this money too, right? Fuck these guys sending me this goddamn bill. We're going to turn that around with them, bill exchange, and get 10 times the amount back. All right. And so I'm going to let you know how it all goes. And I look forward to seeing you guys pretty soon. Maybe I'll try to pop something off maybe Saturday. So big love to everybody. Give somebody a hug right now. They're going to need it. And I'm going to see you guys, see your smiling faces very, very soon. Big love. And give somebody a hug. God damn. I mean, I even need one, right? You know I do. All right. Love you all. Cheers.